kind of book. Welcome to another episode of the Supper Club. The Supper Club brought to you by
Kuna Food Service, a family-owned tradition since 1918. The Pasta House Company Restaurants. Lordo's Diamonds, your family jeweler for life.
Oliva on the Hill.
Barquette Realty, nationwide real estate investor.
And Fresta Limoncello. Keep sipping, my friends. Welcome to the Supper Club, brought to you by Kuna Food Service. I'm Joe Fresta, and we have a very special guest today, Mr. Dan Bippen, president of Kuna Food Service. Dan, welcome to the Supper Club.
Thanks, Joe.
How
Appreciate
you doing,
it,
buddy?
Appreciate
Good
it
to see
very
you.
much. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah. Oh, hey. Thanks for everything you do.
Well, I wanted to say this before I forget. You've done a lot for the restaurant industry, promoting it through social media,
Absolutely,
through the
yeah.
Supper Club, through your radios, shows, and supporting the independent restaurant scene in St. Louis. You've done a great job.
And it's a
doing
big
that.
deal here. We have a proud culinary scene here,
yeah.
and it needs to be showcased
Oh,
and appreciated.
You're shining a light on them.
Well, it all started with Facebook Food Critic. But anyway, man. It's good to see you. We don't get together that much, but we kind of talk on the phone or
Sure.
maybe text or what have you.
Network,
but,
right.
Network a little bit.
Right.
Do a little charity work here and there, right?
Yeah, you're good at that too.
Yeah. Well, you got to give back, as you know.
Right.
Being a part of the community.
Hockey fights cancer.
That's right. It does. Literally.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to talk about Kuna Food Service.
Okay.
How it all got started
Okay.
back in 1918. Mm-hmm. Your grandfather
Grandfather on my mom's side.
on your mother's side,
Frank Kuna.
Frank
Right.
J. Kuna,
Frank J. Kuna.
had a little butcher shop in South St. Louis on
He
Geyer Avenue.
Yeah, he had a Geyer Avenue butcher shop, Soulard area. They lived up in the home. He ran that out of the garage and back, and he also had a truck. So that was back when the packing houses were in urban areas.
Okay.
Back in the 70s, they all went the packaged meat, box beef.
Were they
call
down
it.
by the riverfront?
Yeah,
Right
they
off
were
the river,
the
Mississippi.
Stockyards over on the east
Sure.
side, right? And around there, somewhere around the Soulard area. It was Armour, Swift and Company, Royal Pack, Union Pack, Grody. There was a lot of them.
And this was back in the early 1900s.
Yes, so he would go there with his truck and pick stuff up, and then he'd deliver it to these little markets. And as he delivered to these restaurants, he would pick up what they called their garbage, and then he would drive out Highway 30, where he had a piece of ground, and he raised hogs out there. So he'd slop his hogs with the stuff
No
he picked up
kidding.
from the restaurants. Yeah.
Innovative guy.
Yeah, he was pretty innovative.
Yeah. So when did he like move into an actual storefront, or did he never do that? Did it ever get to that point?
I'm not too sure I can connect.
So his
all the
garage
dots.
was on Geyer Avenue.
Geyer Avenue,
where you lived.
right? And we just talked about it, but right down the street in Soulard, my dad's father, Tony Bippen, had a little butcher shop, grocery store that they lived above. So essentially, they were competitors back in the early 1900s.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I'll be darned.
Yeah.
So did you know your grandfather at all?
My grandfather on my father's side, I did know.
Uh-huh.
Frank Kuna died the year I was born, 1958.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I never knew him.
It would have been cool to kind of
Yeah.
have a little bit of history with him.
And his son, Bud Kuna, and my dad, who married his sister, Joan, which was my
Okay.
mom, they became partners.
Yeah.
And they opened a location that they had a larger store and did some
Okay.
wholesale meat routes. That was back when there was a dairy guy, a bread guy, a frozen food guy, a meat guy,
An
a
ice
produce
guy.
an ice guy.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Used to hide the ice up. Man.
Yeah. So that's really where the industry's changed that much. But
Oh, gosh.
But they had a store down on Gravois, Highway 55. When I built Highway 55, took them. You know where 55 makes that
Yep.
big turn?
Makes the bend.
Well, they bypassed Anheuser-Busch and took the Kuna market.
Okay, right. They had a little more pull in Kuna at the time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Kind of like the hill. Highway 44 just went right down the middle of it.
Yep.
As hard as Father Polizzi tried,
Yep.
couldn't couldn't get them to make it go around either. So, but oh well, as history would have it. But then you guys go on, and then right around 1950s, he gets into the maybe what we'd call meat packing or meat.
That was back when there was carcass beef.
Okay.
So when they left that where 55 came, they moved down Gravois to Gravois at Merrimack.
Okay.
4170 Gravois.
All right.
And they built a larger building.
Okay.
That had a large butcher shop in front for the neighborhoods were thriving South St. Louis back then.
Sure.
It was 50s, 60s.
Yeah, right.
And then they had a hanging cooler in the back where they hung carcass beef and aged it.
Aged beef.
So they had like three things. They were delivering to restaurants.
Yeah.
They were selling retail over the counter. And then there was home freezer beef was really big back then.
I'll be darned.
Sides of beef and quarters of beef, 4 quarters, hindquarters.
Right.
So they had guys that were cutting those to order. The customer would tell them what cuts they wanted out of what part of the animal and what size, how they wanted it packaged, and then they would custom cut that, wrap it, and then deliver it to their homes.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You know, we have a little bit. Our families. My mother's side, she was an Emge.
Okay.
And she is from Evansville, Indiana, and her family were in the meat. They were.
Oh, I remember
Emge
that.
Meat Company.
Yeah, absolutely.
Emge Meat.
Yeah.
Emge Butcher or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So they kind of she's kind of got that background too.
Yeah, I remember that
In
name.
Evansville, Indiana.
I remember that name, yeah.
Emge Meat. Yep. Anyway, but back to your guys' story. I mean, he keeps growing, and when did you guys sort of get into that food service, the whole kit and caboodle? Like,
So yeah, that's an interesting story. So my dad's partner, Bud, he died in the early 80s, all right? And that, even back then, Joe, that neighborhood was starting to turn. And the neighborhood didn't have as many families. It just had a lot of older people.
sure.
So it was hard to justify the cost of a personalized butcher slicing a 1/4 pound of bologna and a 1/4 pound of head meat and head cheese. And,
Okay.
you know, so my Uncle Bud, wanted to save it for the neighborhood. Well, anyway, he
Yeah.
unfortunately passed away.
Okay.
The year I got out of college, my dad had told me, hey, your uncle's sick. I'm a little worried about him. I'd always worked there through high school. In fact, I worked there my whole life. And he said, would you mind coming into the business? Because I was going to be a stockbroker coming out of St. Louis University.
Right.
And I said, no, I'll stick around, and
Yeah.
at least for a while. And my sister and I had bought a 2-family flat in South St. Louis on Coronado and Fillmore. So we were just,
Oh, my
I was
God.
just 5 minutes away. And unfortunately, that spring, he did pass away.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So my dad and I became partners essentially 2 years after college.
You know, it's interesting. You guys could have gone. It was probably a pivotal point. You could have went into the grocery store route. You could have been more, like a Schnucks or a Deerbergs or even
Right.
a Straub's
Right,
or a Kroger at the
Right,
time. Kroger
right.
was around.
right.
When there was a lot of these, we talked about off the air, these neighborhood grocery stores,
Right.
little mom and pops. They were all over the place, right?
Exactly.
And then they sort of went away. But you guys, you could have kind of gone that route too, but you stuck with the more, not the consumer, more the restaurant
Right.
industry route, right?
Well, so that was really my dad and my decision, because my uncle, before he got sick, he actually knew the neighborhood was changing, and they were looking for a piece of ground in Crestwood
Okay.
that might have ended up going down that route. But
Okay.
he passed away. My dad was more of the sales guy on the restaurant side, so that's where his bailiwick was. So
That's the fork in the road.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. So he and I closed the store.
Right.
We quit doing home freezer beef, and
Okay.
then we just concentrated on.
How
the
old were
wholesale
you?
side. I was 22.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
That's great.
I remember 22. The first 8 or 9 years I was there, my Frank's mom, my grandma, sat at the desk next to me for the first.
No
So I
way.
was in my uncle's chair, and she always wrote the checks out and stuff. She always sat across.
So you had a relationship with her.
Oh yeah, for a long time.
And got a lot of the history.
Oh yeah, she was a
Wow.
saint. Yeah,
Isn't that something?
yeah. The nicest
Yeah.
person I ever met. Her and my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And your kids are in it now, right? They're
Yeah.
starting to get in a little bit. You're
Yeah.
third generation.
I am third generation.
We'll talk about the fourth generation a little
Yeah.
later, but you can get into that a little bit.
Sure. No, anyway, so from that point, Joe, we went strictly wholesale, and we were meeting, and you could see the handwriting on the wall, right? You had to become more of a broadline distributor.
I was going to say, how did you get there? How did you guys make that jump?
It was piece by piece, segment by segment. It started out with frozen. So we
Okay.
took that building and we added on a freezer,
Section.
2 of them actually. And then we added on dry storage on the other end, got into more of the canned goods and that. Then we ended up renting a space up on Bent Avenue from Guaranteed Electric, who had some warehouse space, dry warehouse space.
Okay,
And we did that for years, and we finally we're landlocked here.
Okay.
And we could go as far as we could go, and that was probably the late '80s, early '90s, and we started looking around, and we actually there was some folks up in Kansas City, American Food Service, which were in our co-op. We belonged to a co-op called Unipro Food Service. It's a co-op of about 300 to 400 companies like ourselves. Right, they're the largest food service co-op collectively, and they were in the underground up in Kansas City.
Kansas City now, that's a big, huge meat packing,
Sure.
cattle.
Oh yeah.
That was big.
Oh yeah. Still
the
is.
time- still is.
A lot of headquarters in Omaha and Kansas City.
Stockyards and all that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back in the what, the 40s, 50s? Is
40s,
that where that
50s,
started to
right.
come around? Over?
But you can get to feedlots from there. You can get to corporate headquarters of major
Okay.
agricultural companies from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Wow.
kind of cattle country from Kansas City
Sure.
up to Omaha, out to Grand Island, Nebraska.
Right. So anyway, you got this connection.
So
now.
we were landlocked, and we got this connection, and we financially couldn't afford to put up a building the size that we needed it. And it's another ironic story. My father-in-law, Fred Avey, he was in the paving and produced asphalt. Well, he had an asphalt plant at every quarry that the Busson family crushed rock, right?
Okay. Okay.
So he was good friends with the Bussons. Well, Bruce Busson was one of his good friends, and he had a house at the lake. And I was down there, as late teenager, early 20s, and he was saying, "Hey, we're carving out this limestone cave down at the Coke Road Quarry." I
Okay.
said, "I'll bet you someday you're going to be a tenant of mine." And that was
Cold storage.
It was
right?
cold storage, yeah, and it still is. Busson's has got about 1 million square feet down there underground. Yeah.
Wow.
So we were one of their first tenants. That's what got us to expand more
Okay.
without having to build a building.
Right.
So we moved out. We moved out of Merrimack and Gravois, sold that, and moved into about 50,000 square feet of a cave. And we
Underground
were there,
cave.
Underground cave. And
Which is huge.
which is huge. We had the front spot, so we had outdoor access to a parking lot.
You could get in and out of there.
Yeah.
Relatively
We operated
easy.
out of there for 12, 13 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But no longer.
No, well, we couldn't really expand there either because the ceilings were only 15 feet high, and we would have grown rectangularly.
Right.
And the time and motion studies just didn't prove it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we needed taller ceilings,
Okay.
Our business was changing again, so overstock storage became a big. Pick bins are one part of a warehouse. Overstock storage is another part.
Yeah.
And we had pick bins enough, but we didn't have enough overstock storage.
And now you're in 15 states.
Yeah.
Tell me how did it just exponentially from the epicenter, or how did that all, through
Well-
maybe chain restaurants that had restaurants in different states, and then you kind of parlayed that into
Yeah.
getting the local guys in your customer base as well, or?
Yeah, there's really different segments
Yeah.
of our business. The street business are our commission sales folks that are out there calling up and down the street
Right.
in different markets.
Okay.
And then what we call I call our legacy accounts. A lot of people call them house accounts.
Okay.
They're handled by folks over the phone.
All right.
But they're usually regional multi-units.
Okay.
Like local customers that all of a sudden now have 15 locations.
Locations,
Right.
yeah.
They don't really need a salesperson because they're not looking at new product. They become
Right.
more of a function of purchasing them.
Uh-huh.
And then where our business really took off in the last 5 years was we got into the national account business. And, you take on one of those customers, they're going to give you a minimum of 50 locations.
Right.
Right. But then everything's contractual
Yeah.
with their manufacturers, and we just become the wheels. in the storage form.
Or you're speaking with a franchisee who
Yeah.
has a certain region.
Mainly a corporate office who then will tell the franchisee what
You're
to
going
do.
to use this guy. Yeah.
You're going to use this, and this is your price, and
Yeah.
these are the contracts that we've negotiated for.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. So you've got you're now in Dupo, Illinois. Mm-hmm. Why Illinois?
Well, a lot of people ask that question. It was basically logistics for us.
Okay.
Okay, so
With the 15 states.
yeah, I never was going to be landlocked again.
Yeah.
Right, and we had a chance to buy 40 acres over there.
Okay.
So anyway, that being said, there was a lot of negative to go to Illinois on the financial side, but then having 40 acres within 10 minutes of downtown and 5 minutes of South County,
Yeah.
being right on a highway, the closest we would have gotten to that would have been Pacific, Missouri.
Yeah.
Then you got the ground, right? That's all rock out there.
Right.
You know, this is farmland, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's easier to develop.
Yeah.
And then we had a similar situation. So during COVID, a building became available up in Peoria, Illinois, East Peoria.
Yeah.
And we really didn't pursue national account business, but then that industry kind of changed. They had what they call systems distributors, their service level was getting really bad. Mm-hmm. And then a couple very large ones filed bankruptcy, so it left a big void for these national accounts in their distribution channels.
Wow.
So we had a chance to buy a building, and we were getting a lot of inquiries from them. And the margins looked better than they ever had before because they went down the race to the bottom with margins and found out they couldn't live with the service.
Right.
So their mindset collectively, the whole industry's mindset changed.
Right.
And we just happened to be have that building, which gave us access to Chicago, gave us access to essentially Milwaukee, Des Moines, Quad Cities, Indianapolis,
Wow.
and parts of Michigan. So if we could get these accounts, we bought it, we've added on twice to it. So we have 160,000 square feet in Dupo.
Wow.
And right now up there, there's a 100,000 square foot, but they have 36-foot ceilings. We have 30-foot ceilings.
You know, ironically enough, your grandfather Frank started it, and in exactly pretty much 100 years to the date,
Right.
you opened Dupo. I mean, it tells you
Right.
how far you guys had come in 100 years.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
The last the growth has been incredible the last
Yeah.
5 years, yeah.
And then you buy Hotley cheese, correct?
Yeah, Alan Hotley. We had done business with them forever.
Okay.
And his business was larger than what we took over. We really bought the brand, okay? And the brand had some retail presence.
Okay.
You know, it was in Deerbergs and Schnucks. And
yeah.
we thought we could, and some of he doesn't have we don't have a lot under the Hotley label, but we like the label, we like the history,
yeah.
some of the connections that we got with it, and we knew we could take it to food service. And we have, especially their 3-pound
So
stacked
do you
American.
own Hotley, or do you just have the distribution rights for Hotley?
We essentially own the brand
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
in the St. Louis market.
Is it still made in Wisconsin? The cheese?
Alan never made cheese.
Oh.
It was all made for him to his recipes.
Oh, so
And we're still doing all that 100% the same way.
okay.
In fact, when
you're
we
making the you're making the
we're
cheese.
having it made just like he
Okay.
did, by the same people that he had it made.
Okay, in Wisconsin.
By. Mainly Wisconsin, right?
I'll be doing- yeah,
but
well,
now some of those
cheese
guys
capital of
have
the world.
consolidated with all these, private equity buyouts. So whenever we get, hey, Alan, this guy no
Yeah.
longer going to make this. and
Yeah.
We'll try this guy, try that guy, try it. So we still stay in touch with him. He's good. He's a great guy.
And then you've added a deli meat arm to it, which makes all the sense in the world, right?
Yeah. So we
that's
go to
part
a
of it?
lot of we
Hotley,
we did the same thing he did with cheese.
right?
That we did with some of the lunch meats that you're not going to get in a lot of manufacturers don't make them anymore. A lot of the head cheese loaf, bolognas,
Right.
cotto salamis,
Okay.
pickle and pimento loaf, a lot of old time stuff.
Old-time
You
stuff.
go to these little IGAs.
Braunschweiger.
Yeah, Braunschweiger. So we have
Bologna.
several local little packers that make them. We carry about 30 different items under the Hotley.
Yeah.
We call it Hotley Old World Lunch Meats, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Like a Hotley Provisions or
Hotley Provisions.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And we're never going to get a large account. I mean, a large chain account, because that's always going to go to the Smithfields or the Harmels. but it gives a niche brand to a lot of small markets. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like a Schneider's in Waterloo or a Kenrick's down in South City.
Sure.
Yeah. And those markets are all making a nice comeback.
Yeah, but like you said, it's really a neat brand. Mm-hmm. You know, it's
got a lot of St. Louis
tradition, St. Louis tradition.
Get the jingle.
It was a nice little pickup.
Yeah.
I want to get back to the logistics. How many trucks do you think you guys have on the road?
Oh, between the two warehouses, about 120.
That's a lot of trucks.
Yeah, we drive about 100,000 miles a week.
These are 18-wheelers?
Oh, there's 53-footers, 36-footers,
All right.
and 28-footers.
Now, do you have other...
The 28s are box truck, the 36s and the 53s are 18-wheelers.
Do you have other satellite distribution places, or is it
we
just
have
everything out of Dupo?
Well, obviously, we have some depots. We just started those, Joe. We just started a depot down in Sykeston, Missouri.
Okay.
So we have a couple drivers and some equipment, and we shuttle trucks back and forth. We have a street district down. It started in Cape, then it grew to Carbondale, and then over Farmington, and then more recently, Paducah. We've added some street reps, and Murray, Kentucky. We've added some street reps. They all get serviced out of the drivers out in Sykeston. We're going to do something similar in a month or so in Kansas City. We just haven't found the right location.
Okay.
And then ultimately, by the end of the year, we have located the third depot will be in Louisville, Kentucky.
Do anything in Peoria or anything? Do you do?
We have a full-blown distribution center there.
Okay.
That's where most of our program business is.
Okay.
So most of our street items are housed
Right.
in Dupo.
Right.
And then in Peoria, it's the national accounts, right?
Right.
So we have street sales out of that location, but we pick them and load them and shuttle them up there at night, and then they reload them onto their trucks.
They're smaller trucks.
Yeah, so that, because they have like 1,000 items, we have like 10,000 items, right? So the selection for the street guys is much greater for their street folks and for everybody else's out of the Dupo warehouse.
So
if
now
that makes sense.
you've become a logistics company, so to speak, a little bit, right? I mean,
Well, that's another outgrowth of
right?
it.
That's
Yeah.
a whole nother. It had to be.
So when we took on D&G,
whether you like it or not, I mean, you got to get into this stuff.
when we took on different geographic locations, we always had to look, is there product there that we're having hauled in LTL or common carrier
Right.
into one of our facilities? And we started that several years ago. So now almost every location that we drive to, whether it's Indy or Milwaukee, especially Chicago, we're hauling all our own freight back.
Right.
So if that's going to go into Peoria,
Right.
well then as we're bringing up their street business at night, their
Right.
cases, we're
It's
reloading.
not coming back empty.
No, because that truck. So let's just say we go to Indy, we drop off, let's say 600-700 cases. We might pick up 6 or 7. It lands in Peoria that night, but the next night it's going to Dupo as we're bringing up product for them. So it's all a big spider web.
Right.
So all of our trucks collectively drive 100,000 miles a week, which is 5 million miles a year.
Wow.
So it's a lot of logistics.
It's a lot
Yeah,
of windshield time.
absolutely.
Yeah. And you're out on the road. Probably you got to get out on the road and see these different folks. And
Oh, me personally?
you don't you? You know?
Oh, yeah,
Or
yeah,
you
yeah.
Just your sales guy. You just leave that to the sales guys, or?
No, my son, we named him president this spring.
Oh, okay.
So I spend most of my time, Joe, with on the purchasing side and sales management, and I have meet with several of the operation folks. We work on, our best in class different areas that we're trying to focus on. I
Yeah.
believe on the operation side, I always call it blocking and tackling.
Yeah.
You can have the fanciest technology in the world,
Right.
but if you're not delivering that order on time,
Right.
and if it's not accurate, you
Right.
become a hassle for your
You got a
customer.
problem. Yeah.
So you hassle with your customer, they're not going to be happy, and they're going to. Next guy walks in the door, they're going to give him a look.
I just had Stevie Komarek from Trattoria Marcella, he and Jamie, and he still swears you're his sales guy. You're still
Well, there's some of
No, we were
those
kidding.
legacy accounts, and Steve
Yeah.
and Jamie are that.
He was kidding around. But
Yeah, but
Yeah.
technically, it's Skip.
Yeah.
Right? So
Right,
Skip
yeah.
in the office. Our Tyler Layton was talking
Yeah,
about Skip.
yep.
And so as I turned those accounts over that were mine originally, I gave them to Skip, but I didn't make.
Skip.
But he sits right next to me.
He's
So-
sitting next to you anyway.
He's sitting next to me anyway, so we overhear each other's conversations. And, Yeah, Jamie, I call those legacy accounts.
Legacy accounts.
Yeah.
How long have they been with you?
Oh gosh,
Since the beginning?
I guess that's probably 40 years now, right?
Yeah.
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 We've got
Well, they've been around since, 95.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 30
It's amazing
years.
what they've done. You know, it's like everybody else in the restaurant scene here
Yeah.
in St. Louis is just something special.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But
But to me personally, my wife and I, when we go out to dinner, we always go to a customer.
oh, sure.
9 out of 10 times.
Yeah, and so do I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Talk about, you just made your son president.
Right.
And when did that happen?
This spring.
Yeah.
This spring. He's been on the operations side, and my wife goes to Florida in the wintertime, and I go back and forth.
Yeah.
So it was like when I'm gone, they're all going to him anyway.
Sure.
And Joe, I'm 67. I don't plan on retiring.
No.
But we've been
Me
working.
either.
The last 6 or 7 years, we worked really hard on
Yeah.
putting that next generation in place. So
You have to.
my son-in-law, Matt, he's director of program sales, so he handles the national accounts.
Okay.
Ben is a president, but most of his time spent with operations,
Okay.
which is a big part of our deal. And then my daughter, Sarah, is on the contracts, those national accounts, the tracking and the deviations and all the different deals they have in place. That's all got to
wow.
be tracked.
Right.
And she's one of 4 different folks that do that.
Right,
And then
right.
my daughter Rose, which
And
you
there's
know
Rose.
You know Rose.
I love Rose.
She handles the marketing. She's got a nice young team of
Yeah.
marketing folks. Yeah,
You have to, because
Yeah.
it's with social media and
yeah.
podcasts and all these different these avenues you can advertise on and get the word out about what you do and who you are. It's just
Yeah.
changing fast.
There's so much IT. I mean,
Oh,
at my age, it's like, I tell you a true story. I was trying to get the Mizzou game on Saturday night. I had to call my son-in-law to come over and figure out how to stream it for me.
well, it's unbelievable now.
Yeah.
We're getting off subject here, but
Yeah.
it's like a shell game now with
Yeah.
these sports, with college and professional sports.
Yeah.
They move the games around from all these different.
Yeah,
You don't know where.
frustrating. Yeah.
How do you?
It is
Anyway,
really
that's
frustrating.
that's another
Yeah.
conversation. Talk about your. I know you do a lot of farm to table type stuff, initiatives. Talk about some of the farms, the people you work with in that arena,
So,
like Ben Roberts eggs.
yeah.
Right.
So-
I get those at Annie Gunn Smokehouse, by the way.
Do you really?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Ben Roberts eggs. We've got him in Deerbergs. Schnucks doesn't
Okay.
have him, but Deerbergs has got him.
Okay.
Yeah, so Ben just sold his business, but basically
really?
he was out there in California, Missouri, with a
Okay.
bunch of Mennonite farmers.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
Is that up north, northern Missouri?
No, it's like past Columbia, towards Sedalia.
Oh, okay.
It's a big.
I know there's a lot of Mennonites
Yeah,
up the northern towards Iowa.
yep.
Up there too.
And Buttonwood Farms is another one that we work with out there.
Okay.
Matt at Buttonwood, and then Ben Roberts. He sold actually to some Mennonites.
Oh, he
So,
did.
yeah, so they're running it, and not much has changed there. And on the pork side, there's some Heritage Pork, Berkshire, down in southern Missouri. Dave Newman.
Okay.
Newman Farms. He does a great job, and he has his animals slaughtered at Paradise up near Kansas City.
Okay.
And then Bryce Family Farms. We haul their carcass beef to several little meat markets, Bullyards, and
Okay.
buys it. And
yeah.
there's a couple other small markets that still buy carcass beef. It's hard to get. We're not slaughtering any of that. We're just hauling it.
Hauling it for 'em.
Yeah. And then when it comes to produce season, when it comes to, then we'll buy from a lot of different Kellier farms.
Wow.
Comes to name. Some up
Nearby.
all nearby.
Yeah.
Southern Illinois and rural Missouri.
And it's so difficult now to eat clean. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's such an important thing right now.
Right.
Like me, I can't eat a lot of American flour.
Right.
It just wreaks havoc in my body.
Right.
So I got to be real careful with that. So, and it's the same with meat products and
Right.
all that kind of thing. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, it is getting popular. I can tell you, we're a distributor for Bell and Evans chicken, and that checks every box from organic to clean to
Right.
and
Right.
they're impeccable on their food safety standards.
Okay.
Which when you get to small farmers and stuff, you got to be a little careful, right?
Mm-hmm.
That everything is where it needs to be.
Sure.
So I can tell you with Bell and Evans, we started maybe 5 or 6 years ago with maybe 1,000 pounds a week, and it's now up to 30,000 pounds a week.
Oh, wow.
So there is a shift towards
There's a
that.
huge demand for it now.
And you don't see it as much at the restaurants. Most of that tonnage I was telling you is going out retail, or to these prepared meals. Prepared
Oh,
meal
right.
folks, right.
Yep, that are doing that now. They just deliver it right to your door.
Right.
Because it's so difficult now to go out to a restaurant or go to the grocery store.
Right.
Labels aren't really, you really can't trust the labels 100%. There's a
Right.
lot of leeway there.
Right.
You know, so
Yeah, my wife's the same. She's doesn't want gluten or dairy products.
Sure.
So when we go to a restaurant and when that's earmarked on the menu, man,
she goes right to
she
it.
wants to go right to it.
Yeah, yeah, I know. We have a gluten-free pasta that we offer for
Right.
people.
Right, your pasta con broccoli.
Yeah, right there you go. But there's dairy in that. But
Okay, all right.
but yeah, but there's so many food allergies today.
Yeah.
Peanut allergies, wheat allergies.
I don't know what caused all that, but it
Yeah.
seems like it's gotten worse.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the Roundup situation
Yeah.
with the glyphosate or what it is. You'd read different things, but
That's just it. You read different things. You don't
yeah,
know what
you
to believe.
really don't know.
No.
But all you can do is try your best.
Yeah.
It's difficult, but
Sure.
you guys are definitely doing what you can to make it a little bit easier on the consumer, which is great.
Right. Yeah, so it's hard. We got to be selective on what we stock just because of space. But that's what's kind of the beauty of Dot Foods. I don't know if you know much about
Oh,
Dot Foods,
yeah,
the
sure.
Tracy family.
Yeah.
Huge. We have a delivery in Dupo every day from them, and we have
Yeah.
a one-day turnaround. So,
Yeah.
and they have 30,000 items. So if we're looking for all that specialty stuff that we're not going to sell a lot of, but we'd like to get it to somebody, we can get it from Dot the next day.
Dot. Wow.
And then in our system, it'll attach right to the next order that goes out to that customer.
How big are they? They're
10 billion.
wow. Wow. And they can get you anything and everything.
They get you anything you want. Yeah. And we're basically, they're a redistributor.
Right.
They're not
sure.
distributing to the end user, but they distribute to distributors.
Yeah.
And that really was
It makes sense for them.
yeah, it was a very smart niche that they created. Not only did they create the niche, they dominated. Yeah.
I ask a lot. I have a lot of restaurant guys, very successful restaurant guys on as guests once in a while. And we talk about how the business has changed for them. But from your perspective as a food service provider, how have you seen the restaurant industry change over the years? And
Well-
you can talk about the COVID era as well.
Yeah. In my opinion, Joe, I don't know if this answers your question correctly, but to me, you can always tell the good operators will survive.
Yeah.
And the good operators evolve. And the good operators adjust.
Adjust.
And it's as simple as that. The poor operators are going to fail no matter what.
Right.
You could be in the middle of an economic boom and they're going to fail.
Yeah.
Maybe they can't manage their money.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't want to say other things, but they're just not good operators. I'll leave it at
Right.
that. I'll leave it at
Yeah.
that. I don't want to hurt myself here.
Well, it's a difficult business. It
Right.
always has been.
Right.
And then
And good operators also realize service is very important.
very important.
Very important. And that kind of goes hand in.
Which do you guys? You know,
You don't want to be a hassle to your customer.
it's all about relationships.
Right.
Kind of like my business in the insurance business.
Right.
Which is my initial business. I know, I do a lot of different things, but yeah, I've been in the commercial insurance place for over 20 years.
Right.
But it's relationships. You got to build these relationships and have people feel comfortable with you and trust you, and especially when you're buying something you can't see, touch, or eat.
Right,
You know
right,
what I mean?
right.
So you really have to that trust has got to be it's a big factor in it, but in your business too.
Yeah. The gentleman that runs the bank that we do business with, he calls it a trusted advisor.
Right.
And that's really what it is. That just sums it up.
Right.
If you're a sales guy, and no matter where
Yeah.
you are, you have to be a trusted advisor.
And reliable.
And by advisor, I mean you're bringing value.
Sure.
You're not just, hey, give me your order today.
Right.
It's, here's the trends, here are the markets, can I help you redesign your menu? There's all those value-added
Right.
things when a salesman's calling on you. You've got to give, our reps have got to give the customer a reason to buy from them.
You've got to provide that incremental piece
Right.
or pieces to the entire package of what you're selling and what you provide
Exactly.
for your customer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I would normally ask you like, what's your favorite restaurant in town? But I'm not gonna ask you that.
Trust me,
There's so many good ones.
yeah, there are a lot of good ones.
Yeah, and it's really neat to see that the main nationality you saw in the early years was Italian, but now it's getting into everything.
Right.
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 It's getting into Asian. It's getting into the Indian. It's getting into just all these different things, which is great.
Right.
And then there's the fusions. There's
Sure.
of different nationalities that people are putting together and putting on a menu. How do you guys keep up with all that?
Well, we do have 2 category managers.
Talking about a menu to help
Right.
design a menu.
We do have we have 2 category managers, and we have a lot of our sales reps, purchasing, and even in marketing
Yeah.
that have restaurant backgrounds. And, like I said earlier, a lot of them are younger. We're kind of developing that next generation. And they see a lot of these trends. But, Joe, I can tell you the one that's really stuck out to me in the last 10 years is the explosion of Hispanic restaurants.
Yeah.
They're just everywhere.
Yeah.
And they all do well.
Right.
I think part of it is it's an inexpensive night out, and they'll survive in a small town where there's no way a steakhouse would survive, or even a good Italian restaurant.
You're right.
Right.
You're right.
You're right.
Because maybe their food costs are a little bit lower.
Yeah.
Got to be. That's what it mainly has to be.
Food
tied
cost is
to.
lower, and they
Yeah.
as a culture they're hardworking,
Yeah.
and
Yep. Yes,
and
they
their-
are.
and their business comes first.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
They are very hard workers.
Right.
And for the longest time, you'd talk to people, and we're not a transient town. We're people that live here.
Big time.
They're basically born and raised here.
Right.
Going back to the relationship piece.
Right.
But the people that have come in from different, areas of the country who've experienced maybe Mexican food or Tex-Mex or what have you, they say that St. Louis we don't have very good Mexican food, but I think that's changing.
That's
now.
changing. Yeah, they're not going to the right places.
They're not going to
Certain
but
certain parts of this town have got very authentic
right,
Hispanic food.
like
Oh, I would say
Cherokee Street.
Cherokee Street, North Lindbergh,
Oh, really?
up in that Bridgeton area.
Okay.
Yeah. Even parts of St. Charles,
Yep. Yeah.
you're going to get some real authentic Hispanic food.
Yeah. Even in the Hill area, we're starting to see a lot of right outside the boundaries. You're seeing all these
Right.
Mexican restaurants popping up.
right.
Which is great.
It's great.
Yep.
It's awesome.
It's really good. We're going to hold that thought. We'll be right back
Okay.
after these messages.
Kuna Food Service, providing quality food to people across the Midwest, is part of our rich history at Kuna because food brings people together. We specialize in having a large variety of food products and food supplies, catering to an array of businesses that turn to us. Kuna Food Service, a family-owned tradition since 1918. Oliva on the Hill. It's Italy in the city. With exquisite old-world charm, this ideal setting is perfect for your next special event, wedding, just having lunch, or enjoying Wine Down Wednesday and the Antique Market. Check it out, olivaonthehill.com. Lordo's Diamonds, your family's jeweler for life. Family owned and operated for over 70 years, specializing in engagement rings, fashion jewelry, gemstones, and in-house jewelry repair. Relaxed, friendly atmosphere, competitive pricing, and a selection second to none. Conveniently located just west of the Galleria on Clayton Road. Lordo's Diamonds, your family's jeweler for life. LordosDiamonds.com. Go Fresta for Fresta Limoncello. My handcrafted small batch citrus liqueur is perfect for sipping or pouring in a cocktail. All natural, gluten-free, Fresta Limoncello is sold at Schnucks, Dierberg's, Straub's, Total Wine, and local restaurants. Fresta Limoncello. Keep sipping, my friends.
Welcome back to the Supper Club, brought to you by Kuna Food Service. I'm here with Dan Bippen, former president of,
That's true.
of Kuna
That's true.
Food Service, now that your son Ben has taken over at helm.
Right.
But hey, listen, I want to get back into the restaurant. We were talking a little bit about how it's changed, and it's not it's not exactly inexpensive to go out to dine out anymore.
Right.
Whether it's, I don't care if it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Right.
We'll just take the price of beef right now is gone up. Speak a little bit about the right now and where we are with all that and why beef prices might be going up.
Yeah, so two dynamics going on there. The beef market is all-time highs. It's higher than it was in COVID. Remember, they couldn't get it. Labor,
Right.
couldn't, COVID, it was like, oh gosh, we've never seen
It
prices
was
like
all
this.
labor.
And now it's higher.
Right. It's even higher.
So I think there's a lot of factors of the beef market, mainly on the supply side. I think I mentioned to you that the normal slaughter in this country is about 600,000 head a week.
Sure.
It's gotten as low as 510.
Yeah.
Currently, it's been averaging around 530, 535. So it's a big amount of supply taken out of the market.
Out of it. Yeah.
And a lot of that is because, it's all, everything that we're pulling domestically, we've gotten almost zero beef out of Mexico and Brazil because of some disease they've had that they haven't contained yet.
Okay.
So that beef is off the market, which just puts a stronger,
It has shrunk the supply.
It's
supply. Just,
right. And then you had some droughts down in Oklahoma and Texas the last couple of years, and the life cycle of an animal is 2+ years.
right.
They can raise a chicken in 10 weeks, right?
Right.
So
Just ask Ben Roberts.
just has Ben Roberts. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So anyway, that being said, it's a strictly supply and demand business,
Yeah.
and when there's not enough to go around, they raise their price.
Right.
And the farmers, for the first time in the equation in a long time, are finally making some money. That's the other part of that issue was they weren't making money year after year after year, so they don't raise as many cattle.
Yeah.
Right. All those factors went into these extremely high beef prices.
Right.
But the opposite's happening right now with chicken.
Yeah.
The chicken market is crashing.
Now so chicken
Chicken is
chicken wings should be
it's like
dirt
this.
cheap right now.
Yeah. but yeah. So
Yeah.
chicken is, and that's just recently happened in the last 7-8 weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's some different factors behind that, but I won't
Get
bore
into
you
all
with
that,
that.
right.
But it is more expensive to go out, Joe, and I think the operators have got higher labor costs for sure.
Yep. Minimum wage has gone up. Yep.
Because their employees need more money.
Right.
So then, for the most part, food costs and in general, the average case going out of our door this time last year was $51.
Yeah.
The average case going out right now is $49.
Okay.
So we've seen a little bit of a decrease, but that's over 10,000 items.
Sure.
I'm not just talking beef or
Right.
chicken, right? So in our customer base, it has gone down a little, but then they have, as you know, skyrocketing insurance costs.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Insurance is huge.
And then you can hear this from a lot of the independents, their rents.
Yeah.
Building costs have doubled.
Just overhead in general.
We put on an addition 5-6 years ago in Dupont, and then put a similar addition on in East Peoria last year. And it was like exactly twice as much per square foot. It was
Really?
double.
Right.
So if you are a landlord and you know what the cost of building is, that space is probably worth more money.
Yeah.
That-
Right.
I'm not a real estate person, but that would make sense to me.
Yeah.
But you hear about
Yeah.
when these leases become renewed, they're all
Yeah.
asking for up money. So I think that factors into the
Sure.
restaurant operator
Sure.
as well and what they have to charge. But ironically, it doesn't seem to slow down demand.
Yeah, no. Well, you know what? People don't cook anymore.
Right.
People don't cook
We
at
found that
home.
out during
They
COVID,
just
right?
don't. Right. I mean, our business, Pasta House, our business is, depending on the location, takeout or pickup, carry out, whatever you want to call it, curbside,
Right.
is 40% of our business.
And then you add the Grubhub to it or
Yeah,
whatever it's called.
it doubles it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you go on Grubhub or DoorDash,
DoorDash, yeah.
it is literally you're going to pay twice as much than if you went to the restaurant,
And they still do it.
and they still do it
Right.
because people just don't want to.
There doesn't seem to be any pushback on the price.
No,
I think this younger generation, if they want to do it, they do it.
they just do it for the convenience of it. They don't want to go. They don't want to. I just think people don't cook as much anymore.
Right.
And families don't go out as a family unit or even eat at home as much
Right.
anymore as a unit. Somebody comes home with the food, they divvy up,
Right.
hand out their bag, and they all go up to their bedrooms with their TVs now,
Yeah.
right? and they
Their screens.
whatever.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, but that's the world we live in now.
Right.
And it's probably not going to change for a while.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But we'll switch gears a little bit. You and I are both charity-minded guys.
Sure.
I'm in the cancer sector. That's near and dear to my heart, being a 2-time cancer survivor. And then you were in the military segment with Dogs for Our Brave. Talk about that a little bit.
That's one of my favorite charities. More
I love
recently,
that.
yeah. So
Talk about that.
we've done a couple fundraisers for them.
Yep.
Actually, got to know them through Jim Schutte
Okay.
from Cybergs.
Sure.
He's the CEO.
Call him
I believe.
Tyler Late and I call him the man behind the curtain.
But anyway, he's president of Dogs for Our Brave.
Yeah. Oh, he is. Okay.
So he has a Sip and Savor event over at Sunset Event Space in November.
Okay.
And you go to one of those things, and they bring those service dogs out with those wounded vets, and you listen to some of those stories.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to become a believer.
I've seen it.
Right.
Because I went to one of your events at
The Village Bar.
At the Village Bar.
Right.
And they brought the dogs in and talked and showed what they can. It's
Right.
amazing.
I forgot you were there.
Really cool.
Yeah. So we've done, and we've been doing some stuff at Kuna. Like we're going to do it on Veterans Day this year. We're going to hit some of our suppliers up, more the local guys.
Yep.
Do a little online solicitation. And
Sure.
Try to get them a check because they're moving into a new building next year. They bought a building on Watson Road, the old tire and battery, right next to Rich and Charlie's.
Okay.
And
Sure.
so they're going to be able to double the size of the dogs they're training. It's got an acre of ground out back. Jim was
that's
telling me
wonderful.
about it. That's wonderful.
Yeah, it's neat.
Yeah.
And so many of our military they've gone over and come back. It's just they just need some a presence with them and somebody that really just kind of keeps them a little grounded. I mean, I
Right.
don't know how else to explain it, but
Right.
these dogs are just, you talk about they're man's best friend.
Emotional support for those
They're
folks.
just so calming, and they have that sixth sense, I guess, if you will.
Right.
Coupled with the training they get, it's amazing
Yeah.
what they do. They just kind of keep these guys and girls.
They do a
too.
phenomenal job. And,
Yeah,
and
it's
Dogs
pretty
for
neat.
Brave does a wonderful job vetting the vets themselves.
Yeah.
To make sure they're going to be compatible.
Sure.
And they have enough common sense
Yeah.
to be able to do the right things for the dog.
Yeah.
And treat it as a partnership.
Yeah.
And Jim told me that early on, and Brian, the gentleman that runs that for them over there, they do and then they stay in touch with those vets over the
Yeah.
phone. They don't.
Oh,
listen.
really?
It's just not a one and done.
They just don't train the dog, hand them the dog.
They
and, hey,
have
you're on.
they have a network of
Good luck to you.
phone support,
Oh, that's
visits,
wonderful.
the whole 9 yards. And those vets don't ever pay anything for that dog.
No.
Food, medicine,
really?
what have
Food,
you. They
vet?
pay for everything for the life of the dog.
That's wonderful. Isn't that
Excuse
great?
me, yeah.
Yeah, that's really great. So what's on the horizon for Kuna Food Service? What's next? What are you going to bring on any more brands like Hotley or move into more states? What do you want to do?
Well, we have a segment of our business, the chemical side, which is the leasing.
Oh,
and
Kuna Chemical.
Kuna Chem,
Yeah.
right? So we sell and lease and maintain dish machines for restaurants or institutional food service, and then we sell them the chemicals, and our techs are out there that are maintaining it on either bi-monthly or monthly basis, in a 24/7 emergency in case something would break down.
Right.
Well, we were able to. We had another company up in Nebraska, another Unipro member,
Okay.
that was talking to my son and said, "Hey, you guys use Intercon for your chemicals. So do we. There's a coffee and tea program. You can train your techs who are already in those restaurants to be able to service the coffee machine
makers
and the dish machines." So we just got into that this year, and we had some coffee and tea through some local coffee guys that we took that in house.
Yeah.
And we bought all the equipment to replace them and all these different. We got 600 dish machines out there that we maintain on a bi-monthly basis.
Oh, wow.
So of those 600, we were only selling coffee and tea to about 100 of them.
Okay.
So we got 500 folks that we could potentially go out and sell coffee and tea to. And it's our own brand, Trips Canyon.
Are coffee sales up in restaurants or down?
I'd have to say coffee has gone more along the lines of...
Soda.
Yeah, it's more crafty. It's more small. The tea is a much bigger segment for us. Now, a breakfast place and what have you that sells a fair amount of coffee. But a lot of those guys have gone to the little crafty coffee companies.
You know,
boutique
I
coffee
think
companies.
with all the Starbucks around and the coffee shops and on just about every people are, by the time they go out to dinner, they're coffeeed out. You know, where it used to be, you'd see people after dinner, they'd have a cup of coffee. You just don't see that much anymore.
A little bit in restaurants.
A little bit here and there,
probably
decaf.
Maybe our generation, maybe more
Yeah,
of that.
but when I remember when I was little and or go out with mom and dad, we would, my brother and I were like, okay, we're ready to go. But they had to have their cup of coffee.
It's interesting you're talking about
You know
that
what I mean?
because of our national account customers, the one that's growing by far is the drive-through coffee guy.
Oh,
And I won't say his name, but I'm sure you can figure it out, right?
scooters.
You're
There's
close.
scooters and
You're
there's
close.
I don't know who.
Well, anyway,
I mean, Starbucks.
so actually there's a second one coming that's going to sign up with us, but the other one we started out 2 years ago. We're up to 80 locations, and they gave us the projections for next year. By this time next year, we'll have 150 locations. Now,
Wow.
a lot of them in St. Louis, a lot of them in Chicago, Indianapolis. They're all throughout Kentucky. But anyway,
I'm trying to think who it
they
is.
don't sell any food. It's all beverage.
Wow.
And Joe, I guess what their number one item is? It's not coffee.
Tea.
No,
What?
energy drinks.
Oh, really?
Energy drinks and flavored syrups are it's amazing how much that they sell.
Yeah.
So when you see those lines at those drive-through coffees, nobody's getting the black decaf like I would get.
That's
right?
what I get. I mean,
They're getting with a shot of this and a shot of that and some sort of rainbow-looking thing.
I'd tell
full
you a
of-
quick story.
Full of Red Bull, right?
I was up in Chicago about a month ago. I stayed at the Drake, and there's a Lavazza coffee shop attached to the Drake Hotel.
Right. I've been to
And,
Drake. That's a
it's
cool
Italian
place.
coffee. I love Lavazza, and I love Ely too. But I go in there, I'm in line, and all these people are ordering their frate latte, double half calf, Joca Mocha, all these crazy drinks.
Right.
It's like, man, there should be a separate line for you people. Same at any other coffee shop you go to.
Right. Right.
And I get up there and I said, just give me a large black coffee. And I turn around and there's a gal behind me. I said, that's how you order coffee. She handed me my coffee and I walked away. But it's unbelievable. But you know what? You even see Starbucks. They're getting away from the food. They're getting away from the storefronts, sit down.
Right.
They don't even want you hanging out there anymore.
Right.
They're all going to the drive-through.
Yeah, I saw there's
All the drive-through.
300 locations are going to be redesigned or
Yep.
something. I heard that on the news. Well, the one there at Clayton Road in Dallas is the drive-through.
Yep.
There's
that's
very
right.
little space inside.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's right down the street from the walk-in store at Schneidhorst.
Right. Right.
You wonder if that's going to go away,
Yeah.
and that's going to be it. But man, I drive by there, and there's a line.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
Right.
People just want their coffee and go.
Right.
And then it's smart because now they don't have to worry about selling all this other stuff,
Right. Right.
and less overhead.
Yep.
Anyway, hey, thanks for doing the show, man.
Joe, I admire
thanks
you
for
and
supporting the
everything
show.
you do, buddy.
Oh man, you're the best.
All right, buddy.
All right, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing it. All right.
The Supper Club brought to you by Kuna Food Service, a family-owned tradition since 1918. The Pasta House Company Restaurants. Lordo's Diamonds, your family jeweler for life.
Oliva on the Hill.
Barquette Realty, nationwide real estate investor.
And Fresta Limoncello. Keep sipping, my friends.